how they up. But what about you? A lot of people who call themselves empathic people have the naive empath has little self-awareness. You might read two self-help book, and you watch your programs and on your socials, and that can be educational, absolutely. But true application, how it ingrains into your behavior, that's the victory. And that takes time. That takes time. We need to understand the ways you sabotage yourself. Many empaths, we can be our own worst enemy. Forget them out there. Forget the people and what they've been doing to you. For some of you, you're your own worst enemy. You're not nice to yourself, but you're kind and good to everybody else. But when it comes to you, there's some challenges around that. What is that about? What is that block about? I remember when I started training as a therapist, they were like, well, if you wouldn't do it to a client, you don't do it to yourself. And that was a revelation to me. And I think I've held that as a bit of a mantra. If I wouldn't treat a client like that, why would I treat myself that way? These are all ways that we build our self-esteem and our self-respect and our self-regard. That's the key for us. Because often many of us naive empaths, who are forever seeking validation, who are going above and beyond for everybody, there is a deep sense of unworthiness that we have, a deep sense of not good enoughness that we have. Does that make sense? I can't stop thinking about someone who mistreated me. I feel stuck. What was the hook? What have they hooked into in you, my sister? You always have to become curious about what they've hooked into you. Find the hook. Think back when you first met this individual. What made you succumb? What made you vulnerable to them? What's the hook? I talk about this on my program, Feel Loved. I used to deliver it live in person. Feel Loved is always about what is the hook? What did they hook into in you? Once you find the hook, hey you've got to find the hook. They found your vulnerable spot. And once they've found your vulnerable spot, they can treat you like rubbish. It doesn't matter. You're going to be chasing. At the moment you need them and they mistreat you and they don't care. And you don't have at the current time, sufficient self-regard to protect yourself from yourself. As what I say to people, I'll block her, brother. I block to protect myself from myself. Oh, blocking is childish. No, it ain't. Not if you know yourself. I don't want to be sitting there looking at your WhatsApp status and stories, or seeing that you looked at my status and my stories. I'll start telling myself a whole story about you still might care. Not great for my greatness. I have to protect myself from myself. I loved him. I thought he cared about me. I opened up to him as he did with me. Cool. So you're vulnerable. And I guess the question is it unusual for you to be vulnerable with somebody? Did you feel safe? Did you feel heard? Is that rare for you to feel safe with another human being? And that's a beautiful thing. However, it's not sufficient. It's a fundamental safety, is a really essential part of relationships. However, you have to work out whether if somebody's violating you, whether, now you're making a choice, and I guess there's a story in your head. There's a story that you're telling yourself in your head, and that's what needs to be examined. That's what needs to examine. When people show you who they are, believe them. Many of us don't want to believe them because the truth is inconvenient. So what do? We deny, distort the truth. We sweep it under the rug. Whoosh, whoosh. Sweep, sweep. And so in doing so, I believe we're practicing self-harm. Yeah. And then we are, hey, hey. And then we're living in some sort of hopeless hope that at some point they'll see our worth and have an epiphany. Like, oh my God, how could I let her go? She's a top girl. She's a beauty. She's always there for me. She's got my back. That's not going to happen. It might do, actually, if he's doing repair work, if he's been a bit of a disobedient one and then he's trying to get back in your drawers. Randomly, after he was moving on, he messaged me saying he was sorry. Okay, so you didn't use your block feature. What you've done is you've left access open to you. So whether he gets a groin movement or a curiosity, he can just bowl back into the room and get all up in the midriff. I ain't lying. You understand? Yeah. So this is how we end up doing it to ourselves. You know, oh, they keep coming back. They keep coming back. But you leave the gate open. It's like a thief coming in your house. If you leave your door open, right, chances are after a certain amount of time, you're going to get robbed. So one of the things that you do is you leave the door open. And so they take advantage of that. Your self-worth may dictate that actually, as much, you see, one of the things that you have to also learn, and life will teach you this, right, is don't be in bondage to your emotions, right? You can't be in bondage. Just because you have an emotional bond doesn't mean you should be in bondage to how you feel about someone. One of the challenges we have is we don't engage the logic. I'm empathic, I'm emotional, you know, I'm very loving and I care, all good and well. But when someone's violating you and clearly disrespecting you, then we may have to act in spite of how we feel. I will not be a victim to my feelings. Sometimes we have to love from a distance. Bette Midler, if you know the film, you know the film. Depends on your age range, right? Sometimes we have to engage our logical brain. It doesn't matter. I can love somebody from a distance. Love ain't sufficient. It ain't enough. But life will teach you. I have no idea of your age or your stage, but life will teach you. Because remember, when we don't get the lesson, we repeat the class. You see me? Remember that one. If you don't get the lesson, you will repeat the class. Somebody else will come along. And ill treatment probably isn't new for you. This isn't even about that person. This has probably happened throughout your life. Yeah. Absolutely, my sister, Eden Ray. Yeah, man. If you don't, yeah, man, don't worry. Don't worry. Life will present you again with another opportunity to learn. Life will always present you. And it's a bit like Donkey Kong. Show my age now, right? If you don't complete that sheet, you go back to the same, right? If you want to level up, you have to overcome those challenges, and then you move on to the other level. Don't worry, new level, new devil. It's all, as I say to my clients, right? Because sometimes they're dating, sometimes they're not. They've got out of a relationship, and I'm like, if you want to date, date. I said it's even better if you date. Date, because when you come back and if you choose to share what you're dealing with, that's how we're going to see how far you're growing in your self-worth. We could sit in therapy rooms and talk about that shit all day. We need to see how you're functioning as you experiment with life. The power is in the experimentation. Yeah. So at the moment, you're going to still hold on, you're going to still hold out, and this person's mistreating you. And that's your choice. And that's why listen, I'm down for my clients, man. When they're self-sabotaging themselves, it's all good. Stay alongside. I'm happy to stay alongside you. Because that's rich data for us to process together in therapy. How you do it to yourself. What are the stories? What are the justifications you make to put yourself back in situations that aren't great for your greatness? What do you get from it? At some level, your ego is being fed, even though you don't like it. You see, this work is not about cognitive psychology. It's about who you are as a human being and how you've come to be the person that you are today. This person who mistreats you and you go back, this person is capitalizing on issues that have been there way before you even met. They are just here to teach you a lesson. Every relationship is a window into your self-esteem. Every relationship is a window into your self-esteem. Every relationship is a window into your self-worth. What is this person showing you about your self-worth? See, many of us, we thought we met the one. We told ourselves a story, and we've been conditioned to believe that there is the one, Morpheus, Neo, Matrix. And so for us, talking to the ladies here, but men, if you agree, let me know. Because we believe we've met the one, when we see some nonsense behavior, we have to push it away, justify it, explain it away, because that is not in keeping with our view of the one. This is why the truth becomes inconvenient, and now we go into distortion, avoidance, and telling ourselves stories. He didn't get enough kisses as a kid. He wasn't loved as a child. We have to justify to ourselves why we stay. So now what happens is you're in inner conflict with yourself. As I said to somebody today, the soul ain't for sale. Your soul knows the truth. Your ego is in conflict with that. The truth is inconvenient. The truth is inconvenient. And because you fear being alone, and maybe you live a life based on fear, you stay. Wishing, hoping, maybe even trying harder, in the hopes that you will get the validation and the sense of feeling worthy. Do you know how dangerous it is to expect that from another human being? To want somebody else to validate you, it leaves you so incredibly vulnerable. Humans are fickle. Humans change their mind all the time. This is why I believe this whole narcissism business is a spiritual issue. You've given these people omnipotent power over you. Are they God? Are they Jesus? Are they Allah, Buddha? You've given them a lot of power. And if you notice anything about humans in power, it comes with a whole raft of challenges. We have to be very mindful. I believe that they aren't doing anything to you. What am I doing to myself? And this is why I say to people, self-responsibility ain't no joke. Taking responsibility for your life is no joke, because there's no one to blame. We can't blame our trauma. We can't blame. It's like, okay, yeah, if you truly, truly start to live a life where you take responsibility for yourself, radical, that's right, Life of Eden, you know this. Yeah? Listen, sometimes I wish I could go back to my ignorant bliss. Yeah? But life hurt back then. I was baffled by people's ill treatment of me. I'm waiting for them to come back through the door with their new manifesto of how much they've changed. And how long did that last for? I tell you, not very long. It was just all a part of the get back. Hey Agnes, well go on. Back at you, sister. Back at ya. Pieces. Peace. Peace. Peace and love, man. Appreciate ya. Yeah? A lot of us were doing it to ourselves. Living a life of responsibility is no joke, and it ain't for the faint heart. Who can you blame? I blame myself. If I unblock, block, reblock, block, unblock, and then this man is coming back up in the DMs. I manifested that. I manifested that because I made way. I didn't protect myself. We must learn that love is not enough. This ain't love songs here, right? This ain't Celine Dion. It's real life. This ain't Disney. There is no noble steed coming to rescue us. Is that what he was doing by apologizing randomly, just trying to come back in the door? It's called a check. He's baiting. He's checking, right? It's like a thief. If they were trying to get into your house, they'll try the door, they'll try the window. Yeah, he's just having a check. He wants to see how the waters lie. And you've enabled that person to have access. They've capitalized on that. You allowed that. You may not like that as a choice. Trust me, I've worked with enough clients. You block them on your phone. All of a sudden, you get a friggin' email. They've never emailed you in your life. All of a sudden, these people are finding a way to email you. Yeah, it is loud, isn't it? I'm going in the other room. These people will email you. They've never emailed you before. Now they're up in your emails, texting you on Instagram. Why? Because you have value and you have worth, and you don't know your value and worth. So every so often they do a little spot check. See if you're still green. See if you're still supple. And then the next thing you know, the texting starts. I stop up for myself saying I don't forgive him and he can go shove it. Well done to you. That's a victory then. Is he blocked? Just because we block someone doesn't mean we block them from our heart. We can't block out the memories. It's about putting the big girl pants on and being brave. Learning to advocate for ourselves. But for so many of us, we didn't grow up feeling like we had worth and value. So this is where inner child work comes in. I'm still laughing from your Saturday show. Oh, Energizer, Money Magnet. Thank you, my queen. Yeah? My ex used to email me and call me from a payphone. You see what I'm saying? You block them, all of a sudden you're getting private numbers calling. What are they doing? They're testing the waters. They're testing to see if you're green, if you're going to be having it. And once they see that they can, why not? Might get some pom-pom. Or whatever else you're offering. A meal, a bed. You have to understand your value. You know, if I allow this person back in, make a conscious choice. If you want to settle down, get married, have kids, and have someone who supports you, and this person consistently shows you, not through lip service, we're not interested in lip service, we want to see behavior. I want to see how a man move. If you start to see an anomaly between what they say and what they do, they don't value you, they don't respect you. And the reality is you probably don't respect yourself. And there's usually a very good reason why we don't. Fair enough, if that's how you feel, is what he said, yeah. But all of that is another way that could pull you back in. Fair enough if that's how you feel. Energizer, inbox me. I'm not sure who you are because I don't know. Inbox me, man. I want to get another stand-up gig. I wish I had one tonight. I'd go and do it. I want to keep perfecting my craft. As a comedian. I think it's brilliant. I love it. I could chat all day long. So I could sit on these things. I could just chat all day long. The washing machine's on. And I thought, right, let me go live. I ain't been live for a while. You've got to learn to advocate for yourself, man. No one's coming to rescue you. And this is another thing that us women do. We put all the eggs in one basket. We hope that that relationship is going to fulfill us, make us complete. We bought into the fairy tale. And this is one of the ways that we can end up losing ourselves. We don't have our own thing. Our identity becomes morphed with someone else. And you lose yourself. I don't think it's good enough to be like, I'm an empath. Oh, I'm an empath. Yeah, and what? We read about boundaries. Everyone in here could probably tell me about boundaries all day long. But you can't apply them. Hey! Most empaths can't do boundaries because they can't sit with guilt. Because you feel bad. Because you think it's your responsibility to keep people happy. And many of us empaths have set ourselves up as the 999 911 emergency service. We love someone in problems because we can swoop in, put on the cape to rescue them. Because we feel valued. That's how our ego gets stroked, by rescuing people. It makes us feel valued. It makes us feel important. So what happens is, when they got a problem, they're on your phone and you're like, get the cape. I've got one to save. But who's saving you? Who you calling in your darkest hour when you need help? You are not the fourth emergency service. You are not the fourth emergency service. But you see, for many of us, depending on your family of your origin, if you were the eldest, if for whatever reason you were always rescuing, always trying to help others, we're only doing what we've been trained to do all our lives. We got value from rescuing. We got 2 minutes with the machine. Two minutes, yeah? When you stop saving them, they hate you. But of course they do. They didn't sign up for them terms and conditions. They signed up that you solve their problems. But when they're creating their problems, they ain't calling you. But when the problem lands, they need you to be the solution. Am I lying? When you was out making up your problem, they don't call you. But when they was going creating the problems, they don't call. But when it hits the fan, now they're on your phone. But so many of us empaths, we are so glad when the phone call comes because we get our cape on and now we can really perform and show them how much worth that we have, how kind and giving and caring and supportive we can be. Why? Because we give away what we've always needed. We've needed someone to rescue us. We've needed someone to have our back. We've needed to have someone who goes above and beyond, and we've never had it. So now we give it away indiscriminately to people who take advantage of us. I ain't lying here. And then you want to wonder why you're depressed and sad. I'll tell you exactly why you're depressed and sad. Take down the cape. I said to my client, she's on my gold platinum package at the moment. I said, sister, I see the cape. Put down the cape. Put down the cape. Take it off. You're done with that, man. You're done with that. It's not good for you anymore. Because when they're good, they're gone. And now they got all kind of calamity and they're ringing off your phone. Oh, thank you, Mama G. Thank you, sister. Inbox me, man. Inbox me so I know exactly who you are. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I feel really blessed that Mr. C has given me an opportunity. Like, I was on the same gig as Mr. Slim. Like, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And as a therapist, there's not many places where I could talk about, you know, my experiences. Often I'm very much involved in people's lives, and it was just a great opportunity to talk about, you know, what I notice and what I see. Hopefully Mr. C will get me a video and I'll post. I have my own video. But yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, comedy is my new, you know, my new passion. You know, it was hilarious. I cried with laughter. Where can we watch your show? Oh, I have to send you to my, inbox me and I'll send you to I'll send you a link to my YouTube channel. Yeah. I haven't even started to do what it means to be a therapist on my comedy gigs. I'm getting there slowly. I'm not sure how to pull it in, but for now I'm just focused on identity. Yeah. But as I say to my clients, I'm always telling my clients, get outside your comfort zone, get outside your comfort zone. And I believe I have to walk what I talk. If I'm telling my clients, get out your comfort zone, and I've been a therapist and I've been in my rooms for 13 years, and I feel like I want to do different things and I want to reach more people, then as I do that and I share that with them, it's just beautiful because we're a community of empathic people coming together. Oh, my sister. Oh, you're giving me life here. You're giving me life. Thank you so much. I got feedback from Mr. C. It's like, you move up and down the stage too much. I've got to get my timings better and get my 15 minutes tight. Just got to get it tight. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. But one of my problems is a bit like being on lives. I can just keep talking. I could go on for days. I could just talk. I talk, I do lives, I do groups, so it's pretty easy. But I'm very blessed and I'm grateful. Thank you, my sister. Come to Manchester. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I kind of still working out how to get myself an agent and things like that. Mama, listen, thank you, sister. Inbox me, man. I'm still not sure who you are. There was the best therapy session for me. Honestly, I needed that on Saturday. Amen. Yeah, man. Humor, laughing is good for the soul. It's so, and you know what I feel like? I feel like as I move into comedy, I feel like it complements therapy so well because it's healing. To laugh, you know, they talk about the power of now, being in the moment. The beauty of that is in comedy, people are laughing in the now, right? Come on Jamrock cruise. Well, I'm on Jamrock next week, so you never know. I don't know if my comedy is going to be good for an American audience because they may not get my some of my set, but you never know. You never know. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So one of the things about why I've started comedy is because there's a part of me that's always wanted to be discovered by someone. Yeah. Like, oh my God, I always tell my clients, are you my brethren? Right? I always tell to my clients, yeah, I'm waiting for Oprah to call. I'm waiting for Oprah to call. Oh, now Oprah don't call. So if I'm sitting there waiting for an opportunity to come, what's the problem? I'm not taking responsibility for myself. If I want opportunities, I have to create them. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to. I just want to be discovered. No, Miss Taverner, no. If you want to get out there, you have to create that. And I think that's something. What I preach is what I endeavor to live by. What I preach is what I live by. Yeah. I give myself grace. I give myself compassion. I understand that I am human after all. And if I could give that to myself, then I could do that for the people who are alongside me who I am alongside. That's why when clients might be sabotaging themselves, it's all good. It's all good, man. I got ya. I get it. It's a process. You're not a machine. And some of this is so hardwired into ourselves. We just do what we've always done. It's a bit like when you drive and you don't even know how to get to work because it's just rote. So much of it is just unconscious. And as the therapist, I'm always trying to get that into your consciousness so you can see, okay, that's what I do. Makes sense? Oh, you like the movement. Energizer, you got me, man. You got my back, man. You're on it. Yeah, he said I moved too much. He's like, move twice to the side, twice on the side, move twice, 2 steps to the left, 2 steps to the right. But I was all over the stage. I don't know who I thought I was. Yeah, man, it's good to get out and to do something different and to have a varied diary. You know, sometimes life can get humdrum and having a varied diary, but we have to take responsibility for that. You have to take responsibility for yourself. It's like if you're in a job. I remember when I was working in the prison as a probation officer and I wanted to become a psychologist, and you have to keep, every year you have to try to get the funding, right? Everybody's applying, so there's a scrum. It always felt like a scrum of us trying to apply to get onto the masters. And I remember thinking, I don't like scrums. I don't want to be in the scrum. So I just funded my masters myself. Like, God will provide, innit? If I step out on faith on me, I've learned that. Life has taught me, step out on faith. Something will happen. God's got you. And that's exactly what I did. So I avoid the scrum, right? So it's about, sometimes one avenue is blocked, and then I used to feel like, oh man, this isn't going to work for me. Nothing's working for me, which is a pity party, which is where I'm feeling sorry for myself, right? However, there are other opportunities. But if I'm just, I've got tunnel vision that it should be this way, I wouldn't even be sitting here today. Sometimes things not working out, often things not working out the way you hoped can be for your greater good. And within that, you still have to take responsibility. So I didn't become a psychologist. I thought they were a bit dry, to be honest. They love the book too much. I'm a little bit like, I'm not a system sister like that. I'm not a fan of DSM-5 and, these people are behaving like that. Let's look it up in the book. That's not really me. I'm a bit more like, wonder what happened to that person, make them behave like that. Let's have a chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really like, let's look in the book and, oh, Lola, you got this disorder and that disorder. Nah, that's not really me. I just want to make sense. I just want to make sense of your experience. I want, if I can make sense of it, maybe together we'll make sense of how you've become the person that you are. So many of people I've worked with over the years, oh, Keeley, they say I'm bipolar, I'm this order, that order. I said, let's have a chat. And a lot of people also come to me because they don't want to go in the system, because they know if they go in the system going to call them all kind of names and put all kind of label on them. Let's just have a look. All I'm interested in is I just see humans through the gaze of survival, how we learn to survive and thrive in certain situations. And how some of that behavior that we were exhibiting back then is mashing us up right now. Some of our behaviors are from yesteryear, and they're not serving us in the present. That's what you need to understand. Some of us are functioning from our wounded 7-year-old self, and we've never examined our internal world. And so the more that you can flip that, become conscious of that, like, yeah, that's actually me coming from my 7-year-old self. You can empower yourself with choice, and you can make it, and that process can be really tricky. It can be really tricky, but that's the glory. Does menopause play a part in what? You got your own style and don't lose it. It's what makes you unique. Thank you. Thank you so much. Rudy Liquid said that to me. He said that I've got a different stage persona. He said, that's very good. He goes, that's very good that you got a different stage persona. But I believe we have multiple selves. A teacher always teaches you to be like them, but you are you. Stay active. Big up, man. There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of question. So let me know, my dear empaths, listen, life ain't easy, but I do think I've got a pretty robust formula. I've been thinking about doing some more study lately. And I definitely think there's a massive formula in there. But like I said, self-responsibility, I remember not everybody gets up from rock bottom. Change is not for everybody. I meet a lot of people and they want other people to change. I meet people, they ring me up for therapy and they're like, oh, I'm inquiring for someone else. I'm like, well, where's the person? Because sometimes what happens is we want the person to change, but they don't want to change. And I always say to people, what is it about their behavior that you can't accept? Everybody thinks they're an empath. And I'm a bit like, all right, cool, you're an empath. Let's have a look. Let's have a word. You got to understand how you're actually doing it to yourself. You're creating your own misery. What makes you think you need to save everybody? Who made you the fourth emergency service? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? No, you're not Ghostbusters. You have needs. You have needs. While you're looking after everybody else, who looking out for you? No one. I ain't lying. It's the truth. We often become our own worst enemy. Take yourself, as I said to my client the other day, take off the cloak. Put the cloak down. You need you right now. You see all that empathy you give away for people with big dicks and long stories? You need empathy for you. I think you would be really good at doing sessions in schools and units. Energizer, you know what? I'm off for the business world right now. I've done my time on the front line. I'm not begging for that validation. I don't want to wait 3 months to get paid. I have done my time on the front line. I've done my time on the front line, man. Frontline work, they don't value us. They don't value what we bring in frontline work. You tell them your price, you send them an invoice, they want you to work for free. They want you to work for free. But when the gas man comes in the building, the gas man don't work for free. When the plumber comes in the building, they don't work for free. The teachers don't work for free. Why must I work for free? You don't think I want to go monsoon and buy two pretty dress? You understand? You have to be very careful. You see, in this field, as a helping professional, the society doesn't value professional helpers. They don't. That's why nurses are underpaid. Care workers are underpaid. Doctors are underpaid. People like, doctors are underpaid. Look how much years of study, you know how much doctors I've worked with in training. The years of study and sacrifice. Our country does not value people that help because it's regarded as an intrinsic skill. It's helping. The reason I believe helping professionals are poorly paid is because it's intrinsic to us. It's our nature. We're caring people. Society doesn't value it. They value someone that kicks a ball, right? So they don't want to pay, and there's an expectation that you would do things for free all the time. Training as a therapist, we had to volunteer for 4 years for free, and at the same time, the clients would pay us and have to give it back to Mind, the charities. You have to give them the money back that you've earned, sitting there offering your labor, like low-cost therapy. So people pay you for your time, you give it back to Mind, and then you have to go and pay for your own supervision and your own therapy. Yeah, it is. And I think this is why so many, there's marginalized groups. You don't see, in my field, people from lower incomes, they don't make it. And I'll be very frank, I have access to white privilege. I've had access to white middle class privilege, and I've used that to my advantage. Because if I didn't have my dad, and if I didn't live with my dad, it would have been very tricky for me to have navigated raising 2 kids on my own and funding a master's, a psychotherapy master's that requires you have therapy every week and supervision every 2 weeks. And therapy ain't cheap. And I don't want no idiot therapists who can't hold me when I get in my pain. If you want a good therapist, you have to pay. You have to pay, right? So why is the therapeutic field underrepresented? It's underrepresented because it's a middle class pursuit. And if you train at a decent place, if you want to train somewhere, it costs squilla. And a lot of that ain't funded. Amen. By God's grace. You know what I'm saying, sis? I thank you for the child tax credits. Yeah, the child benefit. I used to put down the child benefit. Yeah, to pay for my courses. And I hustled and I worked and I juggled. I used to do my essays at my job, leave the job, go to you Monday night, you see clients, Tuesday night, you got therapy, Wednesday night, you have supervision, and you still got to do your essays and you got a full-time job, and then wonder why it's underrepresented. It's underrepresented because it's a middle-class pursuit and you need backup. Yeah, you need backup. I want to be an art therapist. People like art therapists. Check out one of my supervisees is there doing art. Art therapy is really powerful, really powerful. I love art therapy. Roehampton, do a very robust course there. Yeah, and it's a walk of faith. But I encourage you to look it up. But you know, you might say, I want to be an art therapist. It's highly likely you're not going to do anything about it. Sorry, not sorry. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to go on the Roehampton website now as I say this to you? Probably not. It's a pipe dream. One of the biggest differences between me and a lot of the people I trained with is I was never the smartest in the room. I'm never going to get an A star in an essay. But I know what I will do. I'll apply stuff and I've got courage and I'll try. That's the game changer. It's not about the A star students. I didn't even learn grammar. As my brethren tells me, Keeley, we didn't even learn grammar at our primary schools. Like, I don't know, a full stop from a semicolon, right? But what I do have is courage. And I will learn it in my brain. I'll get it. I may not be able to repeat it on the paper the way they want me to, but if I understand it, I have courage and I'm brave. If you want to be an art therapist, what are you going to do about it? Otherwise, you're going to be banging on about it for the next 5 years. I tell my clients this all the time. You still ain't done it, have you? It's cool. There's no judgment, but I'm going to call you out because sometimes you don't understand. If you pursue that dream, that is the most biggest inoculation to common mental health problems because you know you've got something. I can work in a deadbeat job as long as I know, and this is what I did for years, I could stay in the idiot job because I know in that job I'm hustling. Taking the Pritt stick, taking the Post-its, a couple of highlighters. It was government work, you know what I'm saying? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my time to do essays on the job, right? So I can cope with a job if I know that I've got something else that's going to blossom and bloom. Something else is going to blossom and bloom. Currently doing my BA in the finance in my last year. You need a BA first. Well proud of you, man. Well done to you. Well done to you. Well done to you. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Keep going, man. Send me your hat pictures. Love a hat picture. When you tip your hat up, throw your hat up, and you graduate. You know, I know there is a lot of challenges around education and exploitation, but trust me, education has been a transformative tool for me. You know, when you come from a disadvantaged background, yeah, and you can't really string a sentence together, it's not helpful. You know, and education is priceless, and I will get in debt anytime for education. Student loan, I'll take it all day long. I encourage anyone to do that because you've got a greater vision in sight. I'd have never earned what I earn now if I'd have never got a degree, I believe. It's about commitment and dedication and pushing yourself. So congratulations on your BA. Sign up to an open day at Roehampton, see what's going on. I did occupational therapy 10 years back, but dropped out due to problems with, with schizo X. Want to go back? Go back. Make a decision. Make a decision about it. You just popped up, my auntie Dawn, Jenny. Oh, man. Listen, man, I just found one of Jenny's cards in my car today, you know. God is good, you know. Listen, man, that's unfair, man. Listen, if it weren't for Auntie Jenny, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair. Because God sends angels on your road. God sends angels. Do you know something about narcissists when they get old? Mine's is 79. What is your questions about narcissists when they get old? Oh, who was this? Auntie Dawn. Sure. That's so unfair. Yeah, wouldn't be here without Jen. I wouldn't be here without Jen. Yeah, man, it's unfair, man. See her things there? I was just looking at the Christmas card she gave me. I keep it in my car. I got the birthday card she gave me just out there. This is the dress I wore to the funeral. I always think of Jenny when I wear this. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Unfair. That's so unfair. Life is unfair, man. I was vexed with God for a good while about Jen. I don't feel so angry anymore. I don't know what's happened, but that's unfair. Jenny was with me when I started comedy as well. Jenny's been with me alongside all of everything. Jenny believed in me. Jenny believed in me. I could probably turn around right now and there's something here she's given me. I'm never far from something Jenny gave me. Look at this. I tell you, you see all them cards there? That's from Jenny. This is what, look, I bet this is from Jenny. Well done. So proud of you, Jen. Jenny gave me these. Hang in there. It is astonishing how short a time it can take for very wonderful things to happen. Jenny's spirit is with us today, trust me. That was unfair, man. That will forever, always, and forever be unfair. That will forever be unfair. That will forever be unfair. Life, huh? Life's all of us. Life is unfair and it's still all good. You have to be inspired. You have to try. And life isn't promised to anyone. Life ain't promised to anyone. So if you have a dream and an ambition, and I think one of the most important things is you got to get good people around you. Like my Auntie Jen, my dear Bridget Jenny. Because you know what happens when you have good people around you? When you stop believing in yourself or you have bad days, bad seasons, they still believe in you. They still hold you up. That's what good people do. What is this that you got me, man? Yeah, Jenny's a hard one. Jenny will forever be hard. Life. When we give thanks for life, life is good. And sometimes it's just unfair. And when people do good for you, you know, it has to live on in you. Amen. Boy, that one got me, man. Love always comes back to you, you know. Love always comes back to you. I've never bloody cried on screen before. Jenny must be about, man. I was looking at her card today. Sometimes it's just unfair. But what I truly believe is they have to live on inside of you, like Celine Dion, you know? They have to live on inside of you. And if you can do good, and what Jenny does for me, I do for other people. I see them and I can see their gifts and I can see their talents. And exactly what she's done for me, I hope that I do for others. Life, right? I hope so. I believe so. I got flowers the other day from a client. Don't wash my kitchen, you know. Don't wash the kitchen. Because trust me, I ain't fixing up no kitchen until XYZ has happened. You know what I'm saying? As Auntie Jenny said, the most important thing here is you got in the house. You got in the house. And anybody here who's from a council estate where people had low expectation of you and you were just expected to end up in the latest high rise, you know what I'm saying? It's no joke. Social mobility, trying, pursuing a dream is no joke. But if I never tried, if I never pushed, if I never had people who believed in me, I'll probably still be on the wait list, right? And so that's the power of having a dream and having faith and stepping out on faith and saying, you know what, I'm going to try. I'm going to take a chance on myself. I done give everybody else chances and they done violate me. So you know what, I'm going to take a chance on myself. And I tell you what happens, God puts people on your path. You'll be surprised who shows up. Sometimes the people in your circle you think will have your back, they're all right to stay with you when you're being average and mediocre. You see, when you want to step up, that's a problem. And that's where you need angels. That's where God sends angels around you. Not everybody is for you. Some people are happy for you to be mediocre. No. But what I'm talking about is ambition, my friend. What I'm talking about is having a dream and having a vision for your life. The audacity to want more for your life. The audacity to want more for your life. When you start to summon up your power, you know. Listen, I'm from beautiful little council estate in northwest London. All day long, proud. Slept there last night. Never ever forget where I come from. And I wanted something different for myself. That's it. That's all I wanted, was something different for my house. I knew that they gave my mum a house, and then I saw my dad lived in a different area, a bigger house. They've got a drive, a massive garden, right? So I'm exposed to two different worlds. I'm exposed to this council estate, and then I go to my dad's house. It's a big house, 5 bedrooms, detached, got a drive, right? There's no one on top. There's no houses stuck to the side. So as a kid, you grow up and you start to see these differences, and then you realize, oh, we live in this type of an area, a bad area, let's call it what it is, and they live in a good area. My dad, when as a kid, you realize, oh, we got given a house. They chose a house. They choose where they live. They choose the road. And something in me, because we were also made to feel inferior because we lived in a council flat, made me think, actually, one day I'm going to want to get my own too. Now, that was a dream I had in me. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I worked at IKEA for 10 years from the age of 16. So I had no idea how I was going to do it, but it was always a dream. And it's interesting sometimes when you tell people your dream, they think that you're insulting them. I remember I told my old friend, she's no longer a friend, what my dream was, that one day I wanted to get my own house. And she had a council flat. And then about 3 days later, you ever had this thing where you tell someone your dream and then all of a sudden they come slap your back as if you're putting them down? She's like, what are you trying to say? Because I live in a council. I'm like, rude. No, I ain't trying to put, I was just telling you my dream. Have you never had that? You just name your dream to someone and then all of a sudden you're offending somebody. What do you think I was trying to do? Offend you and not think that you would know that I'm offending you? I'm just talking my dreams. This is why you have to be careful who's in your circle, because when you start talking your dreams to certain people, they don't like it and you're offending them. You don't even know you're offending them. You're just telling them your dream, not putting nobody down. I just wanted something different for myself. I wanted something different for myself. There was an expectation placed upon me that you wouldn't make much, or you come from down there, you ain't gonna do much with your life. And so the audacity for me was to say, I have no idea how. Thank you, sister. It's a dress, Monsoon. I got it on sale on Next, but it's actually better if you go Monsoon, you get a little voucher. Next, they don't give out no 10% off voucher. Yeah. When you, so what happens is people are trying to, I must have, you ever had this? You speak your dream and you're making someone feel uncomfortable. Well, that's not my responsibility. If my dream makes you feel uncomfortable, I'm not going to shrink so you can be all right. No, brethren, that'll be your problem, don't you? That's your problem. That's not mine. This is my dream. If I'm sitting with a client, my client tells me I want to make 100 mil. I'm not going to be harboring up some feeling like, what the fuck you want to make 100 mil for? Look at good Auntie Jenny. If she's Auntie Jenny say, listen, I want to build a big yard back home with swimming pool. If I feel inadequate, that's not her responsibility. That's mine. Maybe I want that for myself. You know what I'm saying? Speak my dreams, man. That's why you have to be careful who you speak your dreams to, because not everybody is for you. And that's what I love about my Jen. Jen was she believed, and I could tell her anything. Nothing was too ambitious. There was never, who do you think you are? Get back in your box. You have to know who's in your circle, and it's not always your family. I tell my clients all the time, stranger danger. That's why we love our community of empaths. The Authentic Power Collective is what we are. We are the authentic power. We are finding ways to execute and express our authentic power. I might be expressing that through comedy. I express that through therapy. What are the ways that you will find to find your authentic power? Not everybody is for you. You will tell someone your dream and they will be offended by it. And you don't have no intention to offend nobody. You just have the audacity to dream and the audacity to believe in yourself. And not only the audacity to dream and the audacity to believe in yourself, you have the balls and the courage to step out on faith, to make something of yourself. Not everybody is for you. Enough people want you to stay mediocre, doing what they want you to do. For real, uncle just passed away and no one tell us from the family. Oi, Jen, your spirit there, man. There's no joke. That's why I tell my client, what are your dreams? What are your abandoned dreams? Oh, it sounds silly. Anyhow, I hear a client say that sounds silly, I'm like, that's the one you need to say. That's the one you need to say. Who am I to dream? There's always a way. A way can always be found. And remember, anytime you say you want to do something, you must expect there will be obstacles. Many of us assume obstacles mean, oh, it's not for me. People like me, doesn't work out for me. That's a lie. If you believe that, you don't understand the levels. There will always be obstacles. There will always be challenges. That's why the victory is so glorious. That's why the victory is so profound, because there were so many odds stacked. And at any time you could have quit, you could have given up. I remember I was going to give up on my degree. I was like, I can't be dealing with this. This is too much. I don't even know a comma from a semicolon or a full stop. But all I could do was try, and somehow someone came on the road. And I think there's something about when you're from a working class background and you're trying to level up. I think people have a great respect for that. You know, single mom on her own, you know, no qualifications, and you end up at uni. That's why I always say to people, for me, it was like educating Rita. If you know the film, you know the film. Plus, it's the process, the things you learn. Absolutely, sister. That's why when people don't understand this, the process, when they achieve the goal, they're a bit like, this is lackluster, because they missed out. It's always the journey. It's always the process. It's the process. And that's why, for me, as someone who dreamed big, to fight the odds, to not become a statistic, I could only do it by faith. The walk of faith. It had to be faith, because everything around me was telling me that you ain't going to do this. You can't do this. Everything around me was saying no. My first self-help book was a Jan Levan Sant, In the Meantime. Any sisters out there know about In the Meantime? That was the first ever book I ever read in my entire life. The first ever book. I'm not always a fan of positive mindset, my sister. I see a lot of avoidance with positive mindset. Positive mindset is actually very dangerous. People who think positive often distort reality, and they won't sit with difficult feelings. Think positive leads to toxic positivity. I've got a nose for it. Toxic positivity is weird to me, because I'm like, that shit ain't positive. I don't care how you reframe that. That ain't positive. You can't reconstitute trauma and make a positive spin. It doesn't always work like that. This is how people avoid doing the deep inner work. That's why people don't want to come and see people like me. They want to go to a coach, innit? This is where I am. This is where I want to be. That's cool. You want to, well, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. You want to do positive mindset? Go and do positive mindset. Positive mindset is a myth, because humans are not just a mind. Humans are an organism. You can't take a mind out of a human and say, there's your mindset. Humans aren't minds. You have a nervous system. And if you know anything about humans, you must understand your nervous system is king. Your nervous system is top. Your nervous system decides before this little brain does anything. Your nervous system. So we need to get out of this whole positive mindset. Positive mindset makes people depressed, because what happens is when they wake up one morning and they can't sleep feeling positive, and they've done all their affirmations and they're downward dog and they still feel like rubbish, they go into a very deep, dark depression. Why? Because you've been positively reframing stuff all the blasted time. Because you don't want to sit with anything bad. Somebody said that to me today. Oh, I'm feeling really negative today. I'm being negative today. I said, you're not being negative. You're being true to yourself. I said, you're being congruent. You're being real. It's not negative. It's your truths. It's the truths that have been denied into your awareness. Now they're coming into your awareness. This is healthy. Positive mindset. That shit there is hurting people. Trust me. It's hurting people big time. I've got to be positive. I've got to be positive. Someone violated you, left you, took your money, and now you're getting divorced and your house is vulnerable. You can't be positive mindset about that. That's a violation. Yeah? We can't positive mindset out of us. That's our life lesson. We got to go through a process. We accept the down days, the down seasons. You can't constantly reconstitute. This is a massive issue for people. And this is what is in the common pop psychology world, pop self-help. This is what's mashing up people. Got to think positive. Got me affirmations on, unapologetic. Not great for your greatness. Not great for your greatness. I had to make a lady know today, you're in a very good place, my sister. You're being real with yourself. You're not being negative, you're being truth. Truth. Don't make them constantly make you think you got to be positive. No. Some days it ain't all roses. Some days you're in difficult seasons. I've had a tricky year this year. I'm in a state of transition. It's not been great. It's been a difficult season. And I'm coming up and I'm coming out of it and I'm finding my way. Transitions aren't easy. You can't positively think yourself out of it. You got to go through it. Trust me, you got to go through that. Blossom 1, 2, 4. Boom, boom. You're feeling me on this one, sis. Key, I'm being negative. I say you ain't being negative. You stop telling yourself lies. They're not for you. They don't love you. They don't have your back. That's not being negative. That's being truthful. We got to stop lying to ourselves. You know what? Sometimes you love people and they don't love you back the same way you love them. And it hurts. And you're giving. And then you realize, you know what? This is not actually reciprocal. I love them more than they love me. I'm showing up for them in ways they wouldn't show up for me. And that's okay. Once you clock it, feel sad, grieve. God gave us emotions for a good reason. People come to me talking about, oh, I don't want to do negative emotion. What do you mean? Why are you discriminating against your emotion? The wisdom of the organism. God gave us a whole gamut of emotions for us to... Emotions are communication truths. They're communication truths. It is the wisdom of the organism communicating to you. It feels sad. It's letting you know it's sad. But you think it's abhorrent to feel sad. So you're going to what? Pretend you're not sad. You see, look, Auntie Jen, niece, cousin came on. Do you see what happened? It made me sad. What did I do? I was sad. Do you know how much years of therapy I paid to be able to feel sad and be sad? People could see I was sad. That's truths. We've got to honor our truths. Honor your truth. Be sad. Something makes you sad. I was reading a book on the train once. It made me feel sad. Tears came down my face. My friend said, stop crying. I'm not going to stop crying. I read the book. I feel sad. I be sad. Like children. You see, this is what we do to children. Children feel how they feel. And then the adults tell them you're not allowed to feel that way. So they have to shut down how they feel. This is the birthplace for incongruence. You feel one way, but you pretend you're the other. That is a surefire recipe for common mental health problems. Because what happens is people feel one way, as a lot of black people say, some type of way. Yeah? A lot of my black clients are like, Key, man, it made me feel some type of way. I said, what emotion is that? You know, man, some type of way. No, let's get into what do you mean by that? To make you feel happy, sad, pissed off, hurt, angry, annoyed? Let's talk emotion. Some type of way. Made me feel some type of way. What kind of way? See? The avoidance of emotions. Emotions are truths. If anyone says to you that make you feel some type of way, what do you specifically mean? And I'll tell you what will happen. We're not articulate about our inner worlds. And we need to become articulate about what's happening in our inner worlds so that we can express it and release it. Because what happens if it don't get overtly released, it will get released in another way. Trust me. And sometimes it's not great for our greatness. That's why when some people drive, they're a maniac on the road. They got listen. I had to say to somebody, listen, if you want to date someone, you know, if you want to go on a date with a man, you trying to work out the man you're dating, sisterins, do this. Go for a drive with them. Go for a drive. The way a man drives will teach you a lot about them, you know. If they get overly annoyed by someone cutting them up on the road, pay good attention. That one day got a lot of repressed anger. Pay good attention. Yeah, man. I like to see how they drive. You can learn a lot about from someone how they drive. Do they get overly angry at the littlest issue? Issues. Trust me. But you know, I think deep and far. People take you go too far. I don't care. I don't want to swim in shallow waters. You're too deep. Yeah. What's the opposite of deep? Thank you. You got to learn how to defend yourself. Nothing wrong with deep. That's how we like it, innit, ladies? Not on the rim. Anyhow, it's now 2027, 2022, 57. If you've got any questions. Oh, Jen, man, Jen. Sure. Feel free to ask. Sorry to the lady about positive mindset, but sorry, not sorry. I see too much suffering with that. And my ambition is I have to help people unpick all of that. I have to help them unpick it about so they could be true to themselves. They could be real with themselves. You understand? Ah, bless you. How do I give myself for allowing mistreatment? How do I forgive myself? So what you don't have, I got this today actually. So one of the things on my program, what I teach is having your inner care bear. Self-compassion is like I said, when I was training as a therapist, they say if you wouldn't treat a client like that, you wouldn't treat yourself like that. And I took that as a mantra. So often you may give away what you always need. You have to become curious about your blueprint that you learned in childhood. You see, many of us, 5'8", we haven't examined our childhoods. Many of us don't want to look in inboxes. But you see, what happens is if you don't examine them, they're already showing up in your behaviors unconsciously. So whatever way, and me and my clients are always making revelations about what's happened in the past, the blueprint that's still running, which is why we can always look at your intimate relationships. There's usually a blueprint from your parents. If you keep ending up with these types and going through these patterns, there's usually a blueprint that's been laid down by parents. If you really want to understand, you won't have any compassion for yourself. Can you have compassion if you don't understand the blueprint? I don't think so. I don't think you could superficially practice self-compassion, but you won't have the full understanding of your unconscious dynamics, how you learn to adapt and survive through your life situation, your parenting, how your parents raised you. So I think it requires inner work. I think it's a beautiful question. How do I forgive myself for allowing mistreatment? I hear myself say, you will have low self-worth, and somebody taught you somewhere in your timeline that you weren't worthy. That's what I would say. So you have to understand who taught you, this is the question, who taught you that you weren't worthy? Who taught you that you were worthless? Who taught you worthlessness? Because you were shown that you were worthless, and then you took that on, and now you function from the place of worthlessness, and the person who is mistreating you is another example of a blueprint that has been laid down way before you met them. Does this make sense to you? 5'8", let me know. Yeah? You have to find out where you learned that you weren't worthy. This is a worthiness question. Where did you learn that you were not? Who treated you as if you were worthless? Who showed you that you had no value and no worth? That's the true source. And if, I don't see you reply, if you could start to ascertain who taught you that you were worthless. My brother, he would bully me all the way through my childhood. My mum would pick her boyfriend over me. So already, can you see it? Can you see where the information's coming in now, right? So naturally here we're seeing blueprints. You've gone for your brother, but your brother would have been permitted by the adult. So again, this might come back down to some mummy issues. And you've not mentioned daddy. Daddy may have been absent, right? So if mummy is more interested in boyfriends and your brother, maybe he's the eldest and feels like he's the father, because I've got a video on that as well, right? So again, if mummy is not, and let's be frank, we know how tricky it is. Growing up in ideal households is seldom nowadays. But at some level, parents may have taught you that you were worthless. And the most annoying thing is that we have to learn to do that work for ourselves. And that's why I believe it's a spiritual journey, because you listen to Kirk Franklin's album, No Fear. It's one of my favorites. It's got me through some dark times, boy. Oh, oof, got goosebumps. I encourage you, I recommend, if I was a doctor, I'd make prescriptions for gospel music for people for inspiration. I'm a write you a prescription or of No Fear by Kirk Franklin. Put that in your eardrums. Listen to them, their music there. Their music is good for your soul. Yeah. So if you can listen to that kind of music, I think it's a teaching music, man. You know, you have to look beyond people for your sense of worthiness. And I think one of the ways that I found is because I found purpose in my life, which is to inspire and support others. And I'm working in partnership with the creator. A way keeps being found. And my worthiness, I'm not looking for it from in the same intensity. Of course, I want my clients to appreciate, you know, what I do. I'm not saying I don't need any validation. Do you know what I'm saying? I got, you know, if they all thought I was rubbish, it wouldn't work, would it? But I believe your worthiness will come from a spirit spiritually, because you didn't get that from your parents, and your parents may not be able to give that to you. Psalm 91, you done know. You done know, protection all the time. I used to, that's where I met Jenny, and I would always say Psalm 91 before I did them groups with them prisoners, because they weren't easy, right? You got to get your worthiness from somewhere else. So you would have learned it from your parents. Your brother enabled your brother. Your mother may have let your brother run the roost because that was convenient for her while she was getting her Love Jones on. And so deep down, there's a sense of worthlessness that you carry unconsciously, but it will show up. The reason you will allow, look, you've been bullied, right? If you've been bullied from a young age, then that's, you've been mistreated all your life, potentially. I don't know your story. I'm just giving generic information, but it might be helpful to someone out there. That blueprint was sent long ago. So you would have to have compassion for the wounded child, the vulnerable child who was not protected. So one of the things I always encourage people to do, clients to do, is get a picture of your child self. Get a picture of your child self, because that's actually where you're still functioning from. Like here, this is a game. And when I was young, when I was about 7, my dad, I was in Brent Cross with my dad, and my dad said, do you want anything? And I pointed to that game, and my dad said no. He didn't even say no, he just walked off. So what happened is, deep down, a blueprint got installed in me, a belief that I can't have what I want. So this is something my therapist and I, my coaches and I they're like, why do you have this belief that you can't actually get what you want? And then we timelined it, and it took us back to Phoenix at Brent Cross. And my dad said no. Well, he didn't say no. He didn't say anything. He walked off. The game, I had that making me feel old. Hey, man, we're young, man. We're young. So what I did in my adult life, as you can see, is I had to buy the game for myself. I bought the game for myself. And the game is here in the kitchen because it's to remind me that you can have, you are worthy. That's repair it in yourself. That I am worthy. That my daddy wasn't able to do that for me. And I now will honor my inner child, and I will give it to myself. Yeah? That's what that's for, to me. Yeah? That's why we have that. And I have a note up there for myself. You have to remind yourself, man. Saving our lives ain't easy, man. So you got to have symbols and signs all around you. That's why when my Jen sends me all these things, they don't go nowhere. They're all around me all the time. Everything in here's got symbols and signs to boost, to hold me up. Because we're all going to have bad days. We're going to have pity parties. We're all going to feel sorry for ourselves at times. That's why you need people that believe in you. Because there's going to be times when you doubt yourself and you stop believing in yourself. Hey, it will happen. It's all a part of the journey. Do you really believe that? I think that you just didn't like your dad. I love my dad. I love my dad. I love my dad to my soul. Not every parent can give you everything. Was he a good person? Yeah, he was. But it's not about whether he's good or bad. It's about what belief got installed in me. A belief that no matter what I was doing and trying, deep down there was a self-sabotage happening. Does that make sense? Yeah? So what happens is it's not about my parent not being able to afford it or whatever. It's not about that. It's about a belief that got instilled in me and functioned unconsciously. So what I did with my therapist was we brought it into consciousness. We timelined it and ascertained this is the scenario. So now as I reparent myself, as I give to my inner child, I gifted her the game, and that's a game changer. Does that make sense? I hope so. Do you have a YouTube account? I swear I back you against haters on there. Yes, I do have a YouTube account. I'm on YouTube now. Why would my mum be physically abusive? Your mum will have her own traumas. I'm not sure if you're a brother, but if you want to know anything about that, do read Dr. Joy Leary on post-traumatic slave disorder. There's another really beautiful book called what is it? Why Mamas Can't Love. Something like Mama Didn't Love Me. Like, you have to, it's explanation, it's not justification. And we know that every parent carries their own baggage. We're not making a justification, it's just an explanation. And, let's say stereotypically, some mothers, if you challenge them, they're not open, they're not curious, they can be really difficult with you. So it may not even be a conversation you have, but in understanding her stuff, it may make you go, okay, that's why she behaved that way. Not a justification, it's just an explanation. The book's called What Mama Couldn't Teach Us About Love. What Mama Couldn't Teach Us About Love. Often, my assumption might be she's no justification, explanation. I keep saying that. It's not a justification, it's an explanation. She, maybe, potentially, who knows? It may have been her norm. She may be in survival. Let's assume she's got her own baggage. Yeah. Reporting back, been committed to the gym for 3 months, for 3 to 5 days a week, and joined a netball club. Well done to you, Sophia. Well done. Remember names and faces, don't remember what I hear you. Your name is Tallulah. What is it? I remember faces. I don't remember names, but I remember faces. I really wanted to be a part of sports as a child, but I was helping my mum with my siblings. So the adultification, parentification. Good for you, man. Sophia, that is a massive move, man. Why would my brother bully me? He would pick me up and drop me on my head. Well, could be a conversation to have with your brother in the here and now. It could be a conversation to have with them now. And it's interesting when you try to have these conversations with your siblings in the now, they might act like they don't know what you're talking about. But as a therapist, it doesn't take long to work out if someone's been bullied in their younger years. It doesn't take me long to work that out. Sometimes I'm like, were you bullied as a kid? Were you bullied as a kid? It usually, it has long-lasting effects. Bullying does long-term psychological damage. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you for staying with me while the washing was on. I appreciate that. It was good. I haven't been on the live for a while. It was really nice to connect. I actually just feel like I've had a great conversation here, innit? Cried. Hopefully I've inspired someone. That's always the ambition. You know? Remember, freedom is not free, my people. Authentic power. This is the name for my new group. Authentic power. Authentic power. Just seeing how that word rings with me. Authentic power. You gotta find your authentic power, man. Authenticity is the way. Absolutely. But sadly, Sophia, the challenge is the healing has to be, it's up to you. The healing is up to you. It's all up to you. I'm afraid they do the damage and we have to do the healing, and not everybody heals. Not everybody overcomes. I had to say this to someone the other day when I retreat. I said to the clients, I said, yo, remember, not everybody overcomes. We have to remember that. We have to respect free will. Not everybody overcomes. Amen. We give thanks. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for holding me up. Why do people dogpile on you? Because you allow it. At some level, you allow it. There's choices you're making. Learning the difference between rules, boundaries, and preferences. I have no idea what, is it helpful to you? Sophia, is the most important thing. If you think it's helpful to you, then that's all that matters. Yeah, you know, we're all learning and we're all trying and we're trying to find a way. So I hope it's helpful to you as long as it works. My name is Keeley. I am a psychotherapist and budding comedian. I want to thank you all for your engagement. I want to thank you for your questions. I want to thank you for being alongside me on this October evening. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I am blessed. And to Jenny's cousin, I just want to say thank you so much. The love, you can feel the love, you can feel the hurt, you can feel the pain, you know, and she lives on. Her goodness lives on. I want to thank you all. Good night. And if anything I says resonates with you, you're interested in working with me, feel free, inbox me. Do take care of you, because if you don't, no one is coming to save you. You best learn to save yourself. And that's the truth. Peace. In it, YouTube. That's the truth.